Welcome back, or just welcome if you're new here. I'm Carmen. I've been on what I refer to as my sustainability journey for 3 years now, and today's topic is all about hair care and switching from conventional hair care products to more eco-friendly, or what I deem the more sustainable hair care options. Big disclaimer that I just want to put out up front there is that my normal hair does not look like this. This is what I look like when I wake up. This is hair extensions, and I will discuss sustainability considerations around hair extensions a little bit later in this video. Another thing that I just want to admit is that a lot of my other sustainability switches were quite easy. I didn't have many challenges with them. If you've watched any of those videos, I detailed the challenges I did have, but to me, they weren't really big hurdles. But hair care is a major work in progress still. I am not quite where I want to progress to with it, and I'm just going to share all of that and my experience and what I've learned along the way. And in this not so easy process of switching from conventional hair care products to more sustainable hair care products, I've just learned to have grace with myself, and I hope that you have grace with me and also with yourself if you are making these kind of switches. And then my usual general disclaimer is that I share my experience, so my skin, my body, my hair, and my circumstances may not be, and probably are not, the same as yours. So please, in these videos, take what serves you and leave what doesn't serve you. Let's get started. So the hair care journey has not been super easy for me, and I think that predominantly comes down to the fact that I, for the most part of my journey, dyed my hair every 3 months. At the beginning of my journey, I used a product, I don't know how to pronounce this, so if I'm pronouncing it correctly or incorrectly, please let me know in the comments. But based off the research that I had done at the time, they seemed like the most sustainable option, and it is this range. I'm going to put a picture here because I only have one of their products left. Is the Davines. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going to say Davines, but if it's something else, please let me know. And they worked pretty well. I didn't have any major issues other than that quite early in my sustainability journey, or at least a couple months into it, I quit my job and started a business. So I became very mindful of what I was spending my money on. And these products are on, I think, the higher end range of cost when it comes to hair care. So I searched for maybe a more financially sustainable option a few months after using these. After moving from the Davines range, I tried, I think, about 4 or 5 different natural shampoos and conditioners. And honestly, I did not have a good time. So like with the shampoos, sometimes my hair would just not feel clean to me. And I would really kind of do like a 2 shampoo thing and really try to get in there. And I was always a little worried because I only noticed a little bit later, like once my hair is dried, if it's still oily. So sometimes if I was going somewhere, I just didn't have faith that every time these products would work, because I had times where they didn't work. And then a few hours later, I'm like, ew, my hair is still very oily. The other difficulty that I had with the natural products that I used at that point was my hair has lost a lot of its elasticity over the years of putting hair dye in it, and it's quite fine, so it's quite a pain to brush it. And using natural conditioners made a task that was already pretty not comfortable for me extra uncomfortable for me. So I gotta admit, I was pretty frustrated, and there were other people using natural shampoos that would give me some of theirs to try and recommend different products, and they were working wonderfully for those people, but they weren't working for me. And I highly suspect it's because those people weren't dyeing their hair, but I was. When I gave up on natural products, or I was just getting too frustrated after a couple of months and trying 4 or 5 different ones that didn't work for me, I went back to a conventional range, but I specifically wanted like maybe the most sustainable one. So I got one that was sulfate free, and wow, that was a bad time. Every single time I used it, I got out the shower and my hair would dry and it would just still be oily. So fortunately, my hairstylist was gracious and took those products back because they just really didn't work for me. That wasn't everybody's experience. I did ask if other people had that issue, but it was definitely my experience, and ooh, so that was horrible. I'd lost almost even more faith in whether I was gonna get any sustainable hair products to work for me, because yeah, at that point I was more than a year into trying different products and really getting pretty frustrated with this switching to sustainable hair care. The other thing that was happening, so with all of my switching to more eco-friendly and sustainable stuff, I made a lot of lifestyle and diet changes to all around be more healthy. So my nails were improving, my skin was improving, my general health was, I was just seeing this upward trajectory. Oh my gosh. That one, you guys know what I'm saying? Shaking that off. We were seeing an upward trend in my general health, but I was not seeing that with my hair. And given that everything, literally everything else was improving, I put that down to the fact that I was still dyeing my hair. And Ian and I had already decided to get married at that point. We just hadn't picked a date yet. So I made my personal decision that I will continue to dye my hair until our wedding. So given that I had made the decision that for at least, you know, the next few months, almost a year, I'm going to continue to dye my hair, I wanted to use products that are a sustainable alternative, I guess. So I used Olaplex. Olaplex is sulfate free and paraben free, and then there's some other stuff, but those are the two main things that I cared about. And yeah, it is quite pricey, but given that I had made the decision to continue to dye my hair and I was no longer in the starting phases of my business, I felt okay to pay the cost of Olaplex. Then for a few months I continued to dye my hair and use Olaplex, and it just put the whole sustainable hair thing on hold and focused on other areas of my life. Then in September of last year, Ian and I got married. So there's a picture of my hair. I really liked my hair. I really enjoyed the journey with my stylist for doing my hair for the wedding. So all of that was really cool. But I stuck to it, and in September we got married. Then in December I asked my hairstylist to help me as we moved to my natural hair color and just kind of blend the color that I had on my hair. And since December I have not dyed my hair. That's about 3.5 months, so really not that long, but it is still that kind of mental thing of I'm not going to go dye my hair. I'm going to just embrace my natural hair color, which I don't know if it's good or bad or whatever it is, but this is what it is. So in 2015, I also embraced my natural hair color, and my hair was so healthy, even though I was unhealthy. So I'm almost like regretting that I didn't just stick to that. And then I think it was in January, my mom gifted me a package-free shampoo and conditioner from Lush, which I was super excited about. And I was back on the we're doing the sustainability hair journey thing. So that was definitely the more eco-friendly option because it doesn't have any packaging, and Lush's values are geared towards sustainability. These are them. I have continued to use them since January. Oh, they're quite sticky, they're staying. And that's why the Olaplex still has some in, because I actually switched to these and loved it, and haven't used my my Olaplex shampoo since getting these. I actually recently replaced the shampoo bar because I'm finding that it is working for me. It just really works for my eco-friendly values, which I'm super excited about, but I don't experience it to feel and work exactly the same as normal shampoo and conditioner. The shampoo bars, amazing. I definitely can't complain there. They lather. I just like I think you're supposed to do it in your hand and then put it on, but I honestly, I'm like, shh. Probably makes it finish quicker. But I can't complain there. Each and every single time my hair has been clean that I used it. So no oiliness. And I also like Lush's products are usually heavily fragranced. I really like that these products don't have a lingering smell, because I don't like smelling shampoo and conditioner next to my face the whole day. Personal choice. The one that is still a difficulty for me, my hair is still recovering from the hair dye. I mean, it still has all the hair dye and it still is very fine. The conditioner doesn't make my hair easy to brush, so that still is not such a fun time for me, but I have just decided that it's okay. It's just gonna be a little bit harder to brush my hair, but I'm choosing to use the package-free bars, and I'm choosing to use a more natural conditioner, and that's just for me gonna come with that it's not as easy to brush my hair. So that's where I'm currently at with the whole washing my hair. I want to progress to shampoo and conditioner bars that I wanna call them like more bare, that have no colorants in them and also no fragrancing in them. So that would be my next step. After progressing to like the very bare shampoos and conditioners, I am hoping future #goals to do the whole, I hate this word so much, but I'm gonna say it because that's the term everybody knows, the whole no poo thing. I feel like I really need is there a better name for that? There's gotta be. I will explain exactly what that is a little bit later in this video, but that's my goals. I cut here quickly to show you my oily hair routine that I did this morning with some other information. But when we get back, I'm still gonna cover sustainability considerations of hair extensions, sustainability considerations around men's hair or short hair. There I'm going to share Ian's experience because it's different to mine, accessories, hair accessories, and then the whole no poo thing. Welcome to my routine for when my hair is super oily and wild and I just don't want to wash it. You'll know by now that I have very oily skin, and that means I have very oily hair, and I have had very oily hair my whole life. So I have friends that are like, oh yeah, I washed my hair like a week ago. And I'm like, what? Your hair looks like my hair on like day 2. Let's do this. Step 1, brush. Right, now you can fully see all the damage done by years of dyeing my hair, as well as how incredibly oily my hair is. So step number 2, after being brushed, is I'm going to put some natural baby powder in my hair. This worked a lot better when I was more blonde, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It needs to just not be this. So let's see how it goes. Clear in the hyperlapse as to why I don't wear a shirt when I do this, but I put powder everywhere. So if you can do that without making a mess, I think that's a genuine skill. But now my hair has been kind of like dry shampooed using natural powders. I do think I pushed this one a tad bit far on the oil level, but I did push it so that I could film this video. I don't think I would normally leave it this far, but whatever, we're going with it, and I think it looks a lot better. It's definitely not perfect, but we're just going for better protection. Extensions are in general. For hair, I will use organic argan oil, especially on the tips when they're looking wild. I have used it on my roots, but obviously then it makes my hair look very oily. What I've read up has said that argan oil is really good for hair, so I continue to use it on my hair. I realized in that I forgot to take a breath to show you the natural baby powder that I use. It is this one, and this is the second time I've purchased it because I find that it works really well. The most amazing thing for me, it literally has 5 ingredients and they're super, super pure. I do recognize that the whole baby powder thing probably only works for people who have light hair. I don't know, I still kind of use it on my darkish roots and I still just go with it. It does turn my hair a little bit lighter, but I don't really mind that. Alternative that I'm gonna try when my hair goes maybe a little bit darker, I will take this and then mix in a little bit of organic cacao to kind of darken it out a bit and see how that works. I'm not sure if this leaves a sticky effect or not, but I think if I just use a little bit just to change up the color and then brush it on, that might be a cool solution for when my hair is a little bit darker. Moving on to hair care for men, or hair care for people who have really short hair, or hair care for anybody who has similar hair to Ian, because I'm now going to share Ian's experience. When I first met Ian, he had already transitioned all of his products to natural stuff, and he was using a total of 2 conventional products. The one was perfume, but he wouldn't spray that on his body, he would spray that on his clothes, and the other one was hair wax, but literally everything else was just natural products. And when I started my kind of sustainability hair journey, I dragged Ian with me to the shop, and he saw that they had hair wax there. So he transitioned from super conventional hair wax to Davines's wax, which is the more sustainable option. The packaging is more sustainable. Generally, their ingredients are more sustainable. But then he also transitioned to a point where he no longer wanted to put product in his hair, and he just started to try out different hairstyles that he could cut his hair in a way that minimized the necessity for styling it. When I met him, he was using Earth Sap. I will put a picture. We still have this like song to wash his hair. It's a completely natural, biodegradable, non-toxic shampoo. Then Ian's scalp and skin is very sensitive, so at some point I think his scalp was getting annoyed, or I don't exactly remember the factors around it, but he just decided he didn't want to use shampoo anymore. So he stopped using shampoo, cut his hair quite short, and then every now and again he would just do a bicarb scalp wash. I also did the bicarb scalp wash, and I gotta admit my scalp felt amazing afterwards. I'm gonna try to do this more often, but this is the only thing that Ian uses to wash his hair, and it works really well. When he goes to the hair salon, he just opts to have them dry cut it or just use water and not use any products to clean it, because as soon as you use products to clean it, you've kind of reset that whole process, and then it will become oily more often. That's the sum total of Ian's hair experience. So he uses way less products than I do. His sum total of product is bicarb. Moving on to sustainability considerations with hair extensions. So here's the thing, I really like having long hair, and I got my first set of hair extensions in high school. I got clip-on hair extensions with real hair. I got like a part-time promo job after school to pay for them. I kept those for a very long time. I still have those. The only reason I didn't continue with those is I dyed them 3 times, so the quality looks horrendous. And over time, because it's natural hair, they shrink, so they become shorter. And for our wedding, I really wanted this. I just had this picture of this long hair. It had always been my picture, and we had, in my opinion, a super sustainable wedding. I will still make a video or 2 on all of the different considerations that went into our wedding with kind of aligning with our values. But when it came to my hair, I just had always envisioned this long hair, and that's what I did. This is the one that I have. There's a lot more pieces in here. When I do my own hair, I just put 2 pieces, so it obviously looks more natural if there's more pieces. It's highly unlikely that I'm going to purchase another pair, but in my entire nearly 30 years of existence, I have only purchased hair extensions twice. And that brings me to the one sustainability consideration. If you're watching this and you value sustainability, but you do want hair extensions, the one thing I considered, I have fine hair, so the better option that was told to me is that clip-in hair extensions are the less intense way to go, or the less breakage to your actual hair. I'm not a hairstylist, so I'm just relaying what was said to me. So I've always opted for clip-in because I have very thin, fine hair. The other reason I opted for the clip-in as opposed to kind of weaving in or gluing in or taping in, or I don't know, all of the types of hair extensions. So the reason I didn't opt for those included cost. Hair extensions can be quite costly, especially if you're buying real hair, and I didn't want to pay that cost several times because the tape in, glue in, weave in usually requires another person to do it, so you pay for that service of having it done as well as the hair extension. I don't know this, I didn't fact check this, but I assume that the ones that are put in or taped in are only used once. I don't know if they're reused, but I definitely wanted to purchase something that I could continue to use for many, many years to come. And no jokes, the ones that I had in high school, although I went through major years where I wouldn't wear them, I literally did wear them from the age of 16 until like the age of 28. Something that is really important to me and something that I very much consider with my social media presence is I do not want to contribute to false perceptions that are on the internet, and I don't want to contribute to almost unattainable beauty standards that are, in my opinion, frequently shown on the internet. With the fact that I do wear hair extensions, I'm very mindful of that. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I frequently, more often than not, show my hair without hair extensions. I post pictures without makeup on. I have even made a YouTube video without hair extension. I've made more than one YouTube video without hair extensions on. I wear them when I want to. I don't wear them when I don't feel like wearing them. I'm always transparent about this is hair extensions, this is not my hair. Whenever people say, wow, your hair looks great, I'm like, yeah, these are clip-in hair extensions. It's important for me to not create a perception. It's also why I choose currently not to use filters when I make Instagram stories. Final sustainability consideration, synthetic hair was a big no-no for me. Synthetic hair, I can't see how they would recycle that. And although it's the cheaper option, I've always opted for real hair. Of course, the sustainability of that will depend on where you source the real hair from. My choice to have hair extensions is obviously very personal to me. Two quick topics left. The whole no poo. That's the last time I'm gonna say that. I'm definitely finding a better word for that. All right, so the no shampoo, no conditioner thing, that is hashtag goals for me. Basically what it is, you go a certain period of time, most people say like 21 days to a month, where you just completely stop washing your hair with products, so you can still use water. And then it's gonna be, depending on your hair of course, but in my case, very oily. It's gonna be very, well, I'm gonna have to wash my bedding like every second day. And eventually the body regulates and it becomes not so oily and it starts to almost clean itself. The theory is when we use products, our body becomes reliant on those products, but when we don't use them, the body regulates itself. I haven't done it, but I have full faith that that will work. I have just not made that time where I'm like, we're gonna go for this. And yeah, the closest I've ever come is 2 weeks, and it was really oily. At some point, I'm committed to going down this route, and then some people do like no washes, just water washes, and then other people do the same as Ian, where every now and again they do like a bicarb wash or a egg wash or a like vinegar rinse, apple cider vinegar or normal vinegar. In my case, it will be normal vinegar because I do not enjoy the smell of apple cider vinegar. And major respect for anybody who has done it and who doesn't use any products or who uses like minimal products to wash their hair. That is by far, in my opinion, the most sustainable option and amazing to allow the body to do what it does. All right, on to the final one, and that is hair accessories. I used to follow a lot of like zero waste or eco-friendly people on social media, and so often I would see these like picture perfect photos of these wooden hairbrushes, and I'm like, oh, that's really, really cool. My hairbrush is plastic, and that is because I purchased this hairbrush years and years ago. And I think always the most eco-friendly option is using the thing that you have. My hairbrush gets lost or gets broken, I will replace it with a more sustainable option. Other major consideration or something that bothers me is hair ties. Hair ties where I live and based on what I've read are not recyclable, so I still have normal hair ties and I've tried to see, and I currently haven't yet found any natural hair ties purchase where I live or online, but I do know that there are ones available. I've seen some in other countries. I've just not found any where I am. Given that I do still use hair ties, I try to minimize my kind of negative environmental impact. That means that I eco-break my hair ties. So then instead of going to a landfill, it at least goes towards building that's anyway going to be built, and I go drop off my eco bricks when they are completely done, meaning they're rock solid, at whichever place is currently collecting them to be building something. So right now it's a nature reserve close by that's currently building a community center with eco bricks. And that brings us to the end of my very imperfect sustainability hair care journey. Let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see about my sustainability journey in the videos that I post weekly. And remember, it's super helpful for me if you subscribe to my channel, if you like this video, and if you watch my other videos as well.